So we've got ourselves a lot of strikers. There is so many options that you can truly go for at the moment. It is nuts. You don't have to have the team of the tournament, Mbappe, Cruyff, R9. You can literally survive by some very interesting ones. And one that is very notable from yesterday is Peter Crouch. Genuinely a very, very good card as an SBC. Incredibly cheap that you can get him for. Finesse shot, aerial. Yes, he's got a bit of acrobatic and trickster, which I could still work with, but for the fact that you could get him for literally 40,000 coins is not bad whatsoever. Now, yes, he's not going to be that S plus sort of striker, and I do think he will always have a kind of nostalgic expiration date. Of course he will. But I do think when it comes to these sorts of strikers, you're having a bit of fun with the game now. It's at the end. You don't necessarily need to be sweating the game anymore. Obviously, we get a Haaland at the end of this season as well. There's so much to look forward to for the next one as well for FIFA, for FC 25, that it's time to have a bit of fun with some of these strikers. If you look at like a Sorloth Crouch combination, it could be very interesting. It doesn't always have to be the absolute meta. If you're looking for coins to improve your team, head over to lootbar.gg for the most reliable and also the best coins around. Also, they have incredible 24-hour manual customer service that you physically cannot find anywhere else. But before finishing on lootbar.gg, make sure you are using JT11 to get 8% off coupon. Once you've gone through the payment, you'll be able to get your coins within the next 24 hours. Absolutely guaranteed. Also, with the code, you'll be able to get 5% more coins on every transaction. Make sure you do click the link either in the description or down in the comment section below. So it's why if they're ranked A, if they're ranked S+, I try and at least be kind of reasonable with them, and they're not necessarily going to be totally useless. Like for instance, something like Sesko, aerial plus, finesse, and also technical. In terms of the stats in comparison to what we do have in the likes of someone like a Stoichkov, then of course he's not going to be as good, but it doesn't mean that he's totally unusable. That's the whole point of this. Most of these strikers now, you could get a lot out of. They've all got quadruple playstyle pluses, 90 and above stats in every aspect of a striker. They've all got a very high overall. Like I think the lowest striker on this list at the moment is 94 rated, which is just nuts to think that that is the level we're at the moment. If I was thinking somebody else in this list, I'd go Alex Morgan in the A+. And if I was taking, because I want to zoom back out a little bit, if I was taking a top 3, I think there is only one man that takes that for number 1 that everybody kind of expects, and that's got to be our boy Mbappe. If I can get it lined up perfectly, that would kind of be where I'm at for the tiers. Top 3, I had an idea. Well, I'm saying I had an idea. I'm taking the credit. No. In the comments, somebody said, because there is a lot of strikers that would be considered in the S+, to maybe have like a top 3, then the S+ of strikers that are of that sort of caliber, and then kind of bring it down the peg. Because otherwise, there is a lot of strikers going to be in this S+ and S. Of course there is. There's also going to be a lot that I've picked from these that are not going to be. Fulkrug now, as much as you could get a bit of use out of him, he's not going to be at that same level once the Path to Glories did come out. Same as Enzo, and I feel like there's going to be some footies in that sort of level as well. For instance, Kanu. Again, very decent in terms of what he offers. I just don't think in a footage standpoint that he needed to be higher to have that sort of ability. We look at someone like Boniface, incredible bit of work. I would say probably into more of an S. Del P is a funny one because it seems to be when everybody catches him up, he really doesn't have that level anymore. I do like him as a striker, but I think he definitely rolls around more now in that sort of assisting role, but he can have that shot from outside the box. So as a standalone striker, I'd go A+. I think in a cam, it'd probably still be in the S. Drogba, I still think is absolutely broken in this game. Whether I think he's I would go into an S now, kind of like where Sorloth is. A lot of people have figured him out. He's very good and he will get you a lot of goals. Same as someone like a Giroud. I would class Giroud still absolutely up there. I wouldn't put him at the bottom at the minute. Maybe he could even be classed as an S still, to be honest. But I do think for me, they are being found out. Where someone like a Werner is coming in and taking their position. An incredible striker for the SBC that you can go for. We've obviously got Luis Hernandez. Very good upgrade from him. Harry Kane, very much like Giroud. I would kind of still put him on that pedestal, but he now needs the upgrade. I imagine, or potentially we get a 99 of him. I don't know what we've actually got left now, because normally we get 4 weeks of footies, or at least 4 teams of footies, and then we end up just going into a preseason. Everything just goes back into packs. We start to get a 99 Neymar SBC, Ronaldo, but we're yet to have Mbappe. We're yet to have a Vinny, a Bellingham. I know a lot of them have had cards recently, but the 99 is where it's all at, and we know full well Mbappe's due one. He's going to get a 99. If everybody else is starting to get one, Mbappe's going to get one. So whether that is this weekend, I'm sure the leaks will start coming in after 6 p.m. and we will see who's the next sort of favourite. Whether they just go an absolute sugar load and give us so many 98 and 99s for this final week. But there is still, well, we're on the 8th of August. There's still a solid month and a bit left of the game. They will still release cards as we go through because they are trying to make it into that full year cycle. If we're then looking at a few others, to be fair, I wasn't that much of a fan of Lookman. I think he's definitely designed more for a wing play. I'd kind of go, I'd put her up there, to be fair. I just wanted the finesse shot from it. I think she's got everything else on there. Rapid plus, press proven, aerial. Just needed that finesse to take a one up. Lookman's definitely more of a winger in this, I would say. Lukaku, I wouldn't really go for. Mane, very similar reasons to Lookman. I think wing-wise is definitely better for him. Same as Mertens. Mertens was decent with a finesse shot, but he can't go any higher. Milito, it's the 95 to 96 footers. They just needed that bit more of a push. I would go Milito in the A+. I don't know if I'd quite go S for him. Openda, I'd go 1 up. Osimhen now, it could be due an upgrade, to be honest. He's got the rapid, the technical, and the chip shot. It's really not on that level anymore, especially from Team of the Season. Once that came out, he was a brilliant card, but now we've had multiple teams, loads and loads of players that could take his place quite easily. Alan Shearer, love the rapid plus on him, very, very nice upgrade, but I think he's probably down a little bit now. Smith, I rate Smith, really like her. I think we go with Hugo next to Luis as well. Ollie, he's just pretty useless, to be honest. He's like Kanu for me. He can have the playstyle pluses. In game, he just does not work, in my opinion. Sonny Baby, that's one that I, to be fair, forgot. I'm surprised he hasn't had any sort of footage yet. I'm like, even a low rated one, like a 96, 97 with a quadruple. He definitely is due one at some point. Taurum, I'd go very similar. I might even just say an A+ at the moment. Torres, absolutely love him. If he manages to get a footy icon, goes up to that 97, 98, that would be cracked beyond belief. Trezeguet would hit at that low level, same as Undav. Van Nistelrooy, very good upgrade for him. I think he had an absolute glow up here. He's cheap, he's affordable, he's got himself the nice playstyle pluses. Definitely a big dub for the card there. Aubameyang, absolutely love him as well. I think every card that Aubameyang has, from the very start to now, has always been something where you could actually look at. Like, we got so many informs, his 93 team of the season, even the 88 radioactive, and the 88 player of the month. Both of them being SBCs, one being considerably cheaper. Always had that rapid plus, finesse into the first touch. Just an absolute beautiful card to go with. Then we've obviously got Jota. Could have been a little bit better, but that is how Path to Glories work. Unfortunately for him, in terms of an SBC cost, was not worth it in the slightest. He literally came out and went out in the space of about 2 hours. So it's not anything he can do. It is a bit unfortunate. If Portugal went on to win it, you would have a completely different case for this. But unfortunately for him, I'd probably go at a very medium A+, but could have been better. Watkins at this point now is dropping down. Weghorst, I'd say, is still kicking, very much like Giroud. He's got that lengthy aspect to him. Big old striker, great rapid plus, aerial plus, and he's got a bit of power shot as well. What's more not to like there? We then come into some of the higher rated cards. It seems to be the kind of going in order of rating a little bit. We've got Big Boy Benz. A little bit disappointed with the card, to be honest. I thought he could be better. He's obviously got the 5/5, which is fantastic. I just think the card itself has just come out just a little bit too late, to be honest. He's a nice striker, but there is so many options, and the fact that he's still 440 is crazy. He's got great pace, dribbling, shooting, which you could go to any card. I could literally pick most of these footies, and they have that sort of level of stats. Now, he has got the finesse shot, which is lovely. The trickster, never a fan of. Power header, I can deal with. I don't cross double massively, but it's an extra attribute that you can have if needed. And personally, I do prefer the rapid plus than the quick step, but it can work for him a little bit. We obviously have Correa, very much like Lookman. As a striker, I don't think he's really that it, to be honest. He's definitely more a winger, in my opinion. Forlan, to be honest, I'd probably go Forlan and Gomez down in that bottom dump now. We have got Rasmus. Rasmus was a nice upgrade for him, to be fair. He was one of them cards that seemed to just have everything going. The only thing I remember with Rasmus is his work rate. You have a medium attacking and a high defensive. Now, I think it makes some impact on the game. Like if you had as a striker, low attacking work rate but a high defensive, it will make a certain difference compared to the other way around. But I think at this point in the game, it's not necessarily binning him off for that sort of reason. Now, would I go with him into the S? He's got the 5/5, rapid, finesse, chip shot, power shot, so many shooting attributes. I think he would go up there for the time being, and he's very close now coming down to the A+. I do think there would be a few more cards that I'm like, okay, now he kind of is in that sort of level. Suker, kind of in that bottom end, really. Tevez, another one that I thought could have been so much better. The playstyle pluses on him are just not it at all. It's a great upgrade for him. He's a 96. He's gone up a +4 for the greats of the game heroes, but relentless, no. Quick step, I can deal with. Press proven, solid, but power shot, it's just one of them that for me, he's a great striker of the ball, but I don't see him as that killer instinct striker. When we look at some of these, he's not. I wouldn't pick him over Torres, over Drogba, Sorloth, and kind of Aubameyang. I think they have the better playstyle pluses, basically. That's kind of what it comes down to. He's a 5/4 as well, which is always nice. Gerd Muller, I'd probably say about the same now. I think he's a brilliant striker. He was one of them ones last year that I thought could have been like breaking into that top. It could be like the Cruyff, Pushgas, Gerd Muller, and he just never seemed to get there. Like he was always high priced, but he always dropped first. But it's just one of them things, really. Now, we have got some decent ones coming up. We got Butragueno, easy S+, same as Cantona, phenomenal upgrades for both of them. It's weird seeing Cantona in such a young card as well. It's so weird to see him compared to obviously the previous versions we've got of him. Obviously, kind of young-ish, but very much prime Cantona. We obviously have the prime again, and then we have the older Cantona, but this is taking it back massively. Like, this is a very, very early on Cantona, even though, to be fair, he looks... Let's say he looks older than me, but to be fair, probably not. I'm definitely older than him there. But in terms of the card itself, fantastic upgrade, and it's an attribute with cards like this that they are that good, even without the playstyle pluses. Like, this card could have been made so much better. The Trevella's nice. We always look for the finesse. Technical quick step, I'm kind of okay with just one. And the first touch is doable, but finesse, rapid, press proven could have really made this card that sort of next level. Whereas Butra, they've done an absolute blinder on. Crespo, unfortunately for me, he's a brilliant striker, but they just did not give him enough time. And that is the shame for him, because he's a wonderful striker. He's got the playstyle pluses, bar from the finesse. He's got the 4-5. The stats are up there, especially when he came out. He was kind of at the start of the greats of the game as well. So that kind of tells you the level that they jumped up for him. And I do think he's a wonderful striker in the game. It was just the SBC that was like 11, 13 days, something like that. It just wasn't enough, especially with everything else out at the same time as well. Big boy Greasy. I don't know if I'd go S plus anymore for him because we've got a lot of these top end strikers going in there. So I would say I would drop him down 1. I still think he's fantastic, but with the level of strikers we got in that S plus, I think he'd be now towards the bottom. Like really, if we're looking at it, Henry's obviously going in there. I'll come back to Kaka just to see the level of S pluses we've actually got in there because we got the likes of Cruyff. Eto's obviously going in there in a big SBC. Now, my top 3, I'd obviously go Mbappe and R9 quite easily. I think if I was going for the third, it would have to be CR7. As much as we know full well that Mbappe is going to have his 99 potentially. Well, he should do. Haaland is up there. That's without a question. Messi is obviously up there. Puskás is. I'd say Dalglish still puts himself up there. And then Smith. Kerr for the 99. I think she's kind of on that bottom end as well. But already we're taking over the S's nearly here. I think Lewandowski would be dropping into an S here. We then have Martinez. I do like Martinez as a 98. I think he'd probably... It's a tough one because there's so many. I'd go there for the moment because I think Nunez still puts himself in the S+. I think Di Natale still does as well. Kolo Muani would come 1 down. Depay would come 1 down. Pop would go into the A+ now. I think the effect that she has, like she's a very high rated, but like Kane, she now needs the upgrade to really take her to that next level. The quadruple play style plus, putting her in that category of a kind of just a very lengthy striker like we have with Drogba and Sorloth. I don't know if I could go 1 more with her. Jonathan David is absolutely fantastic, but he's definitely 1 more down. Same with Rooney. I think Rooney could be better in like a 98-99 now. Whether they're going to do cover stars again, I can imagine that potentially could have been just a 1-year, one-off promo. Alvarez and Kaka. Now, I think that could be about it. Now, there's definitely arguments like Martinez could be up there. Griezmann, Lauan could be. David, Alvarez and Kaka could be in that S+, but I think trying to keep it into the very not so secluded kind of ranking, because realistically we have got these here as well. Like they are still in that S+. I would just consider them the best free strikers in the game at the moment. That would be my list. Let me know what you think about it. Is there any others that you'd like to go up and down? Obviously, it's an opinion. We've used pretty much every card on this list now. We've gone through so many of them, it's absolutely crazy. Waiting for the week 4 and then see what's to come. But apart from that, make sure you like and subscribe. Peace.